Hey guys, the latest batch of Zoids Wild Kits is in, and for once I actually have time to build them right away. So we're going to start with the Knuckle Kong today, and the others at some point next week. I just wanted to do the Knuckle Kong first because it seemed to be by far the most interesting. So I'm going to do the usual unboxing, but we'll skip the part where I snap it together, not because I made an ass of myself last time, but because I bungled filming it. It's a real shame too because this is actually a pretty interesting build, but I guess you'll just have to take my word for it. So let's take a look at this guy. The box is, of course, nothing out of the ordinary. We've got the usual photoshopped box art here on the front. This is Zoids Wild number 10. On the back, we have all of the modes, some more fluff, the usual stuff on the sides here. Yeah, Takara Tomy likes to keep these consistent like they always have with Zoids boxes. So nothing new to see here really. This is a pretty cool picture though. I hope the Zoid looks half this good. So let's take a look what's in here. Pop this open here. We've got our usual digital camo insert, of course. Instructions. B, A, S, and the gearbox. Let's take a look which one it is. Yeah, of course, the standard sized gearbox for battery operated Zoids, same one as on the Gill Raptor and all the others. We have the S bag here with the mechanical parts, the eyes, the caps, the A bag with all of the bone mode stuff, the B bag with all of the armor. Yeah, so let me get the stuff out of the box here so that we can take a look at how it goes together. Yeah, so right off the bat, I gotta say, as you can see here, a lot of parts in this kit. You're not even seeing all of them. Let me actually move the camera a little. See, there's more here. I can't even fit it all in the frame. I also didn't actually take the parts out of the S bag. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think mechanical pieces in here. It looks like the arms are actually jointed. Yeah, this is a pretty damn complex kit for its size, so I guess that's good. So I'm going to clear all this stuff off of my messy cutting mat. Sorry about that, by the way. And get started. This looks really interesting. So here he is all put together and looking, I don't know, guys, pretty weird. I like the heads, but the proportions otherwise are just way off. And look at this. No armor on the back whatsoever. To be honest, the whole thing just looks unfinished. Like they were so busy figuring out how to do the Wild Blast mode that they cut the visual design short after the first rough sketches. And just to drive home what I mean by that, here's a comparison to my Gore the Lord Protector, which most of you know as Iron Kong, a design that's over 30 years old at this point. I'm sorry, but I do think this comparison is more than fair, especially since the Knuckle Kong actually borrows some cues from it, like the searchlight on the forehead. And there's just no doubt in my mind which one looks more balanced and thought through. And seeing it in motion doesn't really do it any favors either. Unfortunately, I don't have the right batteries lying around to run one of my Iron Kongs for those of you who don't have one, but trust me when I say it just looks way better than this in motion. And what's the deal with this attempted but not really functioning jaw movement? It's like he's done too much coke and needs some gum. But it all makes a bit more sense when you see it in Wild Blast mode because that was obviously the focus with this one. Alright, so let's take a look at the transformation here. Because it really is basically a transformation. What you do is this. First of all, the legs need to be in click backwards like this. This one locks into place, or it should, yeah, right here. This one just sort of dangles. That allows him to stay upright because he's going to be staying upright. We move the hip forward. You can also move this upward so that the pilot is sitting correctly. And then what we also need to do is we need to change his arms into the right position. So what you do is, first of all, you unhook them here in the armpit, basically. Then this is separated by doing this. It's important to hold on to this part here because one time I did this and I basically just yanked the entire arm out of its socket. And if you look at the way it locks into place, it's not a good idea. Because it really looks like these tabs here, they look like they can break easily. Now this turns down and locks into the back of the hand here, and you bend the arm. Show you this again on this side. You rotate the hand. Doesn't really matter what order you do it in. Then you unhook the arm, the shoulder armor by actually sticking your finger in here basically and doing this. You rotate this, move it down here, bend the arm, unhook it at the armpit. As you can see, there's a couple different ways you can do this. The important thing is that you have them in position like this. And that's the upright position for the Wild Blast mode, which I'm going to show you as soon as I've got my camera in position. So here's what basically everything else was sacrificed for, from the visuals to the walking movement, and I guess it's okay. I like the way the torso rocks back and forth, and unlike when it walks, the mouth opening and closing actually looks really cool here, as does the head in general. But of course, it's not really pounding its chest so much as it's just moving its arms around, kinda, sorta. So, what's the verdict? I don't know, guys. See, I remember way back when I first saw Gore the Lord Protector in one of those pamphlets that came with Zoids in the 80s and thinking how cool it would be if it could pound its chest pretty much exactly the way Knuckle Kong does. And obviously some people in Japan thought the same thing because Kotobukiya made a point of posing the HMM Kong doing just that in their promo pictures. So in that sense, it's really kind of awesome to finally see that come to fruition decades later. And while it's probably coincidence, I love that the Knuckle Kong's color scheme is the same as the European versions, and not with that weird red undercarriage the Japanese version had. I just never liked that. I also think it's great that we're only a few kits in and the Zoids designers at Takara Tomy are already trying weird stuff and taking chances like they did in the olden days. That's certainly a good sign and I hope it continues. But I can't honestly say I think they succeeded here. I mean, the bottom line is, it's an ugly Zoid that doesn't walk well. All it has is a cool looking head. So that's it for this one, folks. As always, I hope you had as much fun watching this as I did making it. Like, subscribe, and comment if you want, and I'll see you with the next one soon.